And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, a lot of people like movies. I mean, I know people like movies because they're such a big business and because everyone's always talking about them. Well, today we have a game called Double Feature. This is a game from the new board game company Renegade Studios, Double Feature from John Kovalik, and this is about thinking up movie names before other people do. Now that's not something that's brand new. There's other games that have done that before. Let's take a look at how this one plays.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
There are 6 different categories of cards in the middle of the table: setting, props, characters, theme and genre, production, and scenes. One person is going to be, quote-unquote, the director. And that person is going to pick anything. So let's say they pick setting and turn that card over. In the future. Okay, so everyone sees that. Then they're going to turn over another card, maybe production. The title contains some geography. And then everybody has to think up of some kind of movie that matches in the future and title contains some sort of geography. So maybe here I would say The Island, because that's a movie that happens in the near future, and geography is an island. If that's the case, and the judge hears me and he says, oh, that's a good answer, he will give me the older card that was turned. So this was the first one he turned over in the future. The next person who's a judge will still use his title contains some geography, and they'll turn over another card, maybe scenes here, in a holy place or a den of sin. Okay, and so maybe Sin City works for this, I'm not sure. You know, there's different things. So whoever gets that one will then get the title contains some geometries, and then we'll turn this over a buddy movie that happens in a holy place or a den of sin. And then someone gets that one, and characters, a doctor, a lawyer, or an Indian chief. And then maybe the next one is during the autumn or the winter. And maybe the next one is from outer space or out of town. And you can see how there's not a ton of cards here. And in fact, I almost kind of wish that there had been more cards, but there's so many combinations between the cards. You can't have 2 settings or 2 props or 2 characters. You also can't say the same movie twice in a row, or even a sequel. You can't, say Star Wars and then Empire Strikes Back, just because they might both fit. And you can't pick direct-to-video, which is great because there's a lot of obscure direct-to-video stuff. If nobody can come up with a from outer space or out of town sports movie, which I know you people can do, that's Space Jam right there. But anyhow, let's say nobody can, then you turn over a third card, and people just have to get something that matches any 2 of the cards. So these 2, or these 2. And that happens if no one happens, and that happens occasionally. And then you keep going until someone wins a certain number of cards. That depends on the players. Let's say it's a 6-player game. First person to get 8 cards wins. But as with any party game, you can basically end whenever you feel like it. Now, Double Feature isn't anything groundbreaking or new. There are other games about thinking up of movie categories. But here, you're finding something that has 2 different elements in it. I need a movie that's away from Earth, and in a shower, a bathtub, or a hot tub. Well, that would be a strange movie. Or a movie that's in black and white, and it's action and adventure. Oh, that's easy. Some of them are easier than others. And while this isn't groundbreaking, sometimes simplicity is great. You can even see here in the box the artwork. John Kovalik is the artist for Dork Tower, and his artwork has always been simple, and we've seen it all the way back to the pair of apples that were in Apples to Apples, which was a simple game and did extremely well, and this is in that same genre. Now, I still think there could have been double the cards in this one, but the cards, the combinations that mix them all together, is quite vast, and I didn't run across duplication in that regard, and the gameplay is really fun. Now, there's going to be something, the director is going to be picking someone, and sometimes we have to stop and say, okay, no one's heard of that movie, let's look that movie up. And someone who is a movie file is going to, or is it film file? I don't know what the terminology is. Someone who watches tons of movies is certainly going to have an advantage. However, most people have seen a lot of movies, and this game is just fun. It's one of those games, I think, that even if you don't win, it's just fun to shout out different answers, and ooh, I knew a movie that no one else did that fit those 2 categories. So, a light party game, but one I think that's a good first showing from Renegade. Double Feature. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!